G'day YouTube. So I've made up a power board for two vehicles. It went in a Unimog for a trip around Tasmania, and it will end up in a VW Crafter for most of its life. It's a sort of modular. I did it on a sheet of ply so I can take it in and out of both vehicles. So here I've just laid out most of the components that I was going to use to try to get a feel for how they'd fit onto the board. We've got an A&L fuse at the bottom left, and then we've got a remote battery switch. These are both Blue Sea Systems devices. Next on the bottom left is a smart shunt by Victron. The black thing with the red tab sitting on the side of it is a Victron Lynx distributor board. We have a simplex DC to DC charger. That particular one is a 24 volt to 12. We have a multi plus inverter charger, a Blue Sea Systems fuse block, and a Renogy DC to DC charger mppt. Sorry, I didn't say that very well either. Solar controller. You can see here I've got some of the cabling started to be run. Now I use T-nuts on the back of the ply instead of just putting wood screws on it. I managed to break most things that I ever have, and it needs to be very durable for anything that I build. And these things are reasonably expensive, so they need to last quite well as well. So you don't want the cables flapping about and shorting out. This is a little bit neatened up. So I haven't run the main battery feed from the fuse block to the remote battery switch or the DC power out. It's pretty much wired up. We don't have the sort of the USB plugs and the light switches and stuff in this photo. Now this board went onto a water tank that was in the back of the Unimog. The next slide is the water tank. So we put some steel strapping under and around the water tank to hold it in position, because like I said before, I can break most things I've got. So this is a chap that works for me, Russell. He gave me a hand with this particular project. So did my brother Warren, and some of the other people work for me. So this is the board just balanced in position. On that bottom kickboard we're going to have a UV filter and a shore flow pump for the water tank. We had a water heater in this particular humpy as well. So that's looking from the back. We use these four sort of plastic sight boxes as the bed base, as well as they were boxes for the toys in the back of the Unimog. Now I just use a closed cell foam underneath the tarp to protect us from water. The tarp had some holes in it. The truck is an ex-Australian Army Unimog, so it was it's quite an old vehicle that's been used pretty hard. So there we can see the UV filter at the bottom, the pump. I've got some of the low voltage 12 volt wiring done, ready to have a panel on the thing, on the switchboard. We've got an Anderson plug for the solar panel. We just had a 200 watt solar panel. Now I used a Renogy product, so this is just two water filters for the incoming water of the water tank. Now the next slide, we've got just some of the tools spread out. So these are boxes with connectors and just all sorts of things that I use to put it together. You can see the little front cover board. The thing hanging down in the center of the board is the three switches. So we had a switch for the fridge, switch for the pump, and switch for the lights. Hope you enjoy that. Any questions, I should be able to answer them. I just used a 100 watt lithium battery to run this. It was fine for the whole of the trip. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.